Good day, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel at Illumination Hub. Today, we are going to be looking at what we call subscription account. And before we move on, I would like to appreciate those who have been sending in feedbacks in regards to the videos I've made, and I really appreciate. And I'll be taking my time to make further explanations in regards to accounting for non-profit making organizations. Today, we're going to look at one of those issues that we need to address. And I'm picking up questions randomly to treat them. And there are times whereby the questions may be wrong and the questions may need adjustment. So I'll be making that available and I'll be trying as much as possible to explain some of those issues. Okay, right now I have a typical question that I've been able to type and bring on board so that we can all discuss it together and prepare it, especially when it comes to preparing subscription accounts. There are arrears and advance. If you're able to watch my previous video, I mentioned that subscription in arrears. These are subscriptions that the members have not paid for, and they are still owing. During the current year, they are still owing for previous payments that they're supposed to have made, but they have derived benefit from them. In this case, these are assets to the organization because it is our money. Okay, it is the organization's money, and the members are debtors. They are seen as debtors because this we're treating as a current liability, current asset. It is current asset to us, the organization, because the members are still owing us, and they are more like a debtor to the organization for the subscription that they have benefited from, that they have enjoyed, but they have not paid for. That's number one. Number two is that in regards to subscription in advance, in this case, this subscription in advance means that the members have paid ahead beyond the current year and they have not derived the necessary benefit for the payment that they have made. So, meaning that the organization is indebted to these members. In this case, the members are like creditors. They are like creditors to the organization because the organization have collected their money in form of subscription in cash, but the members are yet to derive benefit or derive value for the money that they have paid. So this is just very simple, okay? So what we are saying now is that we will need we need to prepare accounts that require subscription in advance with subscription in arrears, okay? And also we are going to derive the value or amount that is due to be paid or transferred into the income and expenditure account. Okay, so we're going to do that. We have three sub questions, questions here that we are going to attempt. That is, we are going to prepare a subscription account. Number two, we're going to determine the amount to be posted to the income and expenditure account. And number three, we're going to determine the balance brought down or brought forward to the subsequent year. So right now, this account is for 2019. So mean that we're going to also derive the balance brought forward for 2020. We know that the balance carried down for the previous year should be the balance brought down or brought forward in the current year. Okay, so let us go ahead and do some workings here. Okay, so let's go ahead. So let's go ahead and do some things. So right here, I'm going to draw. I'm going to make some drawings. So I'm going to be drawing the table. I think this is still okay. So let us go ahead. So I'm going to draw the table. So I'll try as much as possible to draw this so that we all can understand what I'm doing. So this is a subscription account. So let me just draw this a bit, okay? So let me adjust that. So I should be able to see the question. Okay, all right. So let us move on. Oh, okay, probably let me just let me shift this here. Okay, let me transfer it up. So let me go back and redraw that table. Okay. Ink. All right. So let's have it here. So right here I have the debit side, and here we're going to be having the credit side. Okay. So we have the credit side, and this is the debit side. So we have our naira sign here. Naira sign. Okay. So let's have the naira sign here. So we have the naira sign there. So let me write this very well. CRD. So I'm having some challenges here. So let me just type that properly. So DR, okay. So let us move on. So right now we have subscription. So we call this account subscription account. Please just bear with me. Kindly write yours in full, okay? So this is subscription account uh as at 2019, okay? So as at 2019, this is a subscription account, okay? So we have subscription in arrears, okay? Subscription in arrears. This is, like I mentioned earlier, is an asset to the organization. And we know that in double entry, okay, and when you're preparing your ledger, the asset will be on the debit side, asset will be on the debit side, and liabilities will be on the credit side. Okay, so this is an asset. At the beginning, in on 31st of December 2018, which is the same as the balance brought forward for 1st of January 2019, okay, we have subscription in arrears of 100,000. This is an asset to us, so we are going to record it on what, on the asset side, which is debit side, okay. So we now have subscription in arrears. I'm going to just find a way to shorten the abbreviate the subscription in arrears. That is 100,000, 100. So let me just put 100 here, okay, 100. So let me put 1,000 here, okay, 1,000. Okay, so this is in 1,000, 100, okay. We have as at the end, we have subtraction as at the end. Okay, this is also in arrears. So sorry, let me just do that again. That should be balance brought forward. So that's subtraction in arrears, but let us, it should be balance brought forward. Okay, let me adjust that again. So the subtraction in arrears at the beginning, that is balance brought forward, balance. And that is balance Okay. Let me find how do I. Okay, let me find a way to reduce the font. Okay. So balance. So that is in thousand. Okay. Okay. Let's just continue. Just be 100,000. 100,000. So that is 100,000. Okay. So let me try and do that very well so that I can create more space. Please kindly bear with me. So let's write that again. Okay. So we have balance. Okay. We have balance. We have balance. Okay. Balance brought forward. That is 100,000. Okay, that's 100,000. Okay, so we have 100,000 there. So we have the balance carried down. Okay, we have the balance carried down. So we have the balance carried down as, let's shift that down a bit. So the balance carried down in the question is 175,000. Okay, so balance carried down. So let's type that here. Balance, balance, balance carried down. Okay, balance carried down. That's 175,000. So let me shift this a bit. So that is 175,000. 95,000. Okay. 95,000. That was 5,000. Okay. So we have let's go back to the question. Let's look at the question again. So we have subscription in advance. Now subscription in advance is a liability. Okay. So we know that in based on double entry principle, okay, in your ledger you're going to credit the liabilities, okay, with the value, okay. So this is a liability, so we're going to credit the money at the beginning, okay, which is subscription in advance. That is, the members are paid in advance, okay. So we bring it down here and say balance brought forward. So let's get back to business. So balance brought forward here. So the balance brought forward on the credit side, which is a liability, balance brought forward, okay. So the balance brought forward here. So the balance brought forward, let's move that a bit. So let's look at the question. The balance brought forward, consumption in advance is 7,500. Why the balance carried down is 6,000 naira, okay? So let us go ahead and post that. 7,500. So Now 7,500, 7,500. Okay, so let's move on again. Let's move on. We have uh, the profit, the non-profit organization has at 31st of December of 2019, they have they receive cash for subscription. Okay, cash was paid on that day to the amount of 250,000 naira. Okay, so they were able to pay the sum of 250,000 naira as a form of subscription on that day. Okay, so this means that we are going to post cash because when we look at the cash account, okay, the cash account, this is just the ledger posting. Let me just explain that to you. This is the ledger transaction posting. Okay, so we have the cash account, okay, okay. So what we are saying is that on the debit side, credit side, we received cash. We keep for subscription. We have sub here. We received 250,000. Okay, meaning we received 250,000 naira here, thousand on the debit side. Okay, the same applies to subscription account, sub account. Okay, sub account, meaning that when we are debiting cash, okay, that we received, so what happens to sub account? That means we are going to what, post it to the credit side to fulfill the double entry principle. That for every receiver there must be a corresponding giver. Okay, so now post it here as cash. So post it as cash. So post the same equivalent amount of cash as 250,000. Okay, so that means we're able to fulfill the double entry principle by posting to the ledger. That is 250,000. That will be 250, 50. That's 150,000. Okay, on the credit side, this is the credit side. Okay, this is the credit side. This is the debit side. Okay, this is the debit side. So if we are posting the equivalent amount, that is 250,000 on the credit side. So let's write that complete so you can see 250,000, thousand. So that's 250,000. So we are posting the 250,000 down on the credit side. So let us go back to our subscription account. Okay, you can see that since we are debiting cash, okay, in subscription account, we are to post to the credit side. This will come down here. Okay, it will come down to the credit side of subscription account as cash. Okay, so the cash that we posted here should come down. I'm just using that ledger account to prove where we are to post, okay, into the account, into the subscription account. Okay, so you can see this will come down here, to come down here, so to come down here in the form of cash received. Okay, so for the cash received, we have 250,000. So we have 250,000. So we have 250, 250. thousand, thousand. Good. So this should be our cash received. So I'm going to use abbreviation CR to represent cash received. Okay, cash received. Cash received is 250,000. Okay, so then we have a balance brought down of 7,500 naira on the credit side. Then we have a equivalent of balance as we can see in the question here, sub in advance. Okay, so we have sub in advance. We have sub in advance. So we have sub in advance as you can see here. The sub in advance of 6,000 naira. So let's put that 6,000, 6,000, so 6,000. That will be balance carried down. Okay, you can say balance carried down. Okay, 6,000. Good. So let us add up. Let's add up the figure. Let's add up the figure. Now 75 plus 250,000 will give us 257,500 plus 175,000, then 13. So that's 257,500 plus 175,000. Okay, that is 005 12 3. That is 4,402,500. Okay, that is 402,500. So we have 432,500. So we have 402,500. Okay, so that's 402,500 as a total. So for us to be able to determine our the value going to the income and expenditure account, so we're going to deduct the total value on the debit side from the total value on the credit side. So right now we have 160,000 naira as the value on the debit side. That is 100,000 plus 6,000 give us, so 100,000 plus 6,000 will give us 106,000. 106,000. So we're going to take 106,000 from 402,500. We're going to have 005,623. So we have 326,500, which will be going to the income and expenditure account. So I'm going to post that here. Can you bear with me? Income and expenditure. Okay. So we have 326,500. So we have 326,500. Let me shift that a bit. Okay. So we have 326,500. So kindly bear with me the way I'm posting because I'm using a digital board, and it's quite on my mobile phone, so that I can solve this and share it with you guys. So at the end of the day, we are able to balance up. So we have 306,500 that will be going to the income and expenditure account. So let us move on. So we're going to balance that. So let's write the total value. That's 432,000, 500. Okay, 500. So we have 432,500. So for the first question that says that we should prepare the subscription account, we'll be able to do that. This is how you're going to prepare the subscription account. Then also number two said that we should determine the amount to post to the income and expenditure account. So the sum of 326,500 naira will be posted to the income and expenditure account. Since it is on the debit side of the sub account, so this is how we're going to post it to the income and expenditure account to go down to the credit side of the income and expenditure account. Okay, so let's have our income, our income and expense account, expense account. Okay, so this is the debit side, this is the credit side. Okay, now since we have 306,500 naira on the debit side, we come down here from, let's say, from the receipt and payment account. Okay, payment, we have 306,500, so we have 326,500. This is what you're going to post to your income and expenditure account. Now, the third question says that, let's look at that again, that determine the balance brought down or brought forward to the subsequent year. Now, we have the balance carried down. So let me try and draw that again. The balance carried down, let me extend the line, okay? So the balance carried down is 135,000, okay? As calculated or given to us based on what we have on the question is 175,000 naira. Then that means it will be the balance brought down or brought forward for the subsequent year at as at 2020. Okay, will now be 175,000. So let us post that here. So we now post it here as the balance brought down, balance balance brought down. 1, 7. So the balance brought down is 175,000. Okay, so let me post that there. That is 175,000. Okay. So the next one we have a balance carried down on the debit side. Okay, this will now be the balance brought down, brought forward on the credit side. Okay, so we're going to post that here as balance brought forward. Okay, that'll be balance brought down. That is 6,000. Okay, 6,000. And 6,000. So what we're saying is that the balance carried down on the debit side will be the balance brought down, brought forward, which will be posted to the next year on the credit side. And the balance carried down on the credit side will be now become the balance brought down or brought forward on the debit side. Now this is how we're going to prepare your account. This is just simply how you can prepare the account. Okay. Right now, we have been able to prepare the income and expenditure account. Sorry, we have been able to prepare the income and expenditure account. We're able to prepare the subscription account while being able to adjust to determine the value going down to the income and expenditure account. And also we have been able to determine the balance brought down for the subsequent year. And we have been able to also do some ledger postings to be able to identify the assets from the liabilities. Okay, that is every subscription in arrears are assets to the organization, which you're going to start with on the debit side. And every subscription in advance is or okay is um a liability to the organization. Okay, so that will be posted to the credit side of the ledger account. So by knowing this, it will allow you to be able to post the balance brought down at the beginning will be posted for subscription in advance on the debit, for subscription in advance on the credit side, which is a liability, and the closing balance will be on the credit on the debit side. Okay, for subscription in arrears, the balance will be balance brought down or brought forward will start from the debit side, and the balance carried down will be posted to the credit side. As we have done here, this is just basically how you can go about this question. I'm going to still be doing some more videos in regards to how to treat this so that you can see the solution properly. And I've tried as much as possible to ensure that I explain this to you so that whenever you see questions in regards to subscriptions, know that it is not that difficult. Like I mentioned, I said that every form of receipt, like every form of accruals or prepayment, they have no way to be found. They have no business in the receipt and payment account. And all receipts and all accruals and prepayments are included in the income and expenditure account. So sometimes we can have two subscriptions in account. That is, it can be subscription for the previous year that was just paid in the current year. Because the receipt and payment account only records items of cash that we have received during the current year. So if you receive payment that we're supposed to be made in the previous year, in the current year, you have to recognize that in the subscription, in the receipt and payment account. And also, if you receive subscription in advance, then that means that you have to recognize the cash received during that year in the receipt and payment account. Okay. So on this note, we're going to be ending this lecture, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and also click on the notification bell so that you can have access to any other video I'm going to be dropping here. And also try as much as possible to share this video so that others can learn and watch also. So thank you for your time and God bless you. And I will appreciate if you can send in comments or feedbacks on how to improve on the lecture. Thank you very much for your time and God bless you. Bye bye.